do with that, if you're doing direct outreach, like your messenger, and you get like a price objection in messenger before you even spoken to them on an actual call, typically what I would do is say, hey, Antonio, I understand your concern about, a potential investment for us to be able to help you solve XYZ problem. But typically, what we do is, we'll hop on a call just to find out a little bit more about you, what you're looking to accomplish, and then share a little bit more in depth with you on the specifics in terms of how we can help you solve XYZ problem. And then from there, typically we will have some type of customizable investment specifically for you and how we can help you solve XYZ problem, being it's a fit for us to work with each other.
All right, y'all, let's give this a quick check. That's how I do. All right, y'all, let's see if we live. All right, y'all, we are live. We are live. All right, let everybody know that we are live in the group. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome to the live stream. I see a lot of y'all are hopping on. Hello. If you're hopping on, please drop a comment below.
Hello.
Please drop a comment below if you are hopping on here. This is gonna
Hey,
be
how's
some
it
good
going?
conversation. Come on, y'all better come on here. Okay, now I start to see y'all. Now I'm starting to see y'all. Good. Well, hello. Antonio dropped his. Welcome. I see a lot of y'all. Yeah, I see a lot of y'all coming on. Welcome, Howard. Welcome. Good stuff. All right, guys, we are gonna hop into this because this is a very interesting topic. And I know that a lot of you guys have had questions and stuff like that in regards to sales and objections. We're doing this one more time. We're looping back around and we're doing this again for a lot of you guys that are new to the group, as well as those who may have been in the group for a while. Welcome, Andrea. Welcome. We wanted to loop back on this conversation. So again, Gerald, just tell everybody a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish here, and plus a lot of, like I mentioned, a lot of people are new to the group, so just share a little bit about some of our goals and stuff like that.
Yeah, so definitely hello to everyone. I'm Gerald Bass. I'm the founder of the Rise of the 1%. We've been around going on 6 years now. Been around 6 years now. We just actually had our 6 year anniversary, and pretty much we focus on assisting Black coaches, consultants, course creators, and service based business providers, primarily with putting systems in place online to consistently pack their calendar with qualified appointments that convert over to high value clients. And we typically work with Black entrepreneurs in the $2,000 to $10,000 a month range. We want to scale up to $20,000 to $50,000 a month in under 60 days through automation, remote commission-based sales team, and without paid advertising. And our mission is to create $1 billion in success stories over the next 3 years or less amongst Black entrepreneurs.
And that's with a B. I don't know if y'all caught that. Billion with a B. Just to let y'all know that. But this is big, okay? This is real big because I know that and I know both Gerald and Antonio, have talked to a lot of entrepreneurs in regards to sales, because that's what it's all about. It's the way that you grow your business is getting sales. Because if you don't get the sales, then of course you can't grow your business. So Gerald, just talk a little bit about like sales in general, because I know some people have a stigma when it comes to like sales in general?
Yeah. So, I mean, pretty much the way that I look at sales and when I work with our team in terms of sales to even clients when it comes to sales is you just have to look at it from a standpoint of if you have a product or service that you believe really can help people solve a problem, experience some type of transformation, changing better people's lives, then you have a moral obligation to offer it to as many people as possible. That's primarily how you really want to look at sales if you have any type of stigma towards it.
Mhm.
And another thing too, you can't really grow any type of business without sales, right? If you don't have any clients to serve, then you don't have a business. And if you're not generating the revenue to come in, then you can't take care of expenses in reference to the business. You can't make investments. And when it comes to profit, being you're a full time entrepreneur, if you're not generating profit, then you can't take care of your lifestyle, right? And your family. So, yeah, if you have any type of stigma towards sales and you're an entrepreneur, business owner, which is everyone in this group is supposed to be that, then yeah, I would definitely recommend getting over that as soon as possible. If you really want to be successful in business.
That is so true. Couldn't agree more with you.
And also, if you study like
Hmm.
any of the top billionaires, majority of them had some type of background in sales. Majority, somewhere along their journey. And most multimillionaires as well and millionaires. Most of them had some type of background in sales at one point in time. Yeah. Look like Charlotte may have froze. Okay. Look like you back now.
Yeah, I lost my signal.
Got you.
But yeah, you hit on some good points, Gerald. Everything pretty much, if you look at it in life, revolves around sales. The way we live, the day to day, everything is all sales. And one thing that I can say, just being connected with you over the years, like sales is very key. And every day, still to this day, even though you perfect it, you're always constantly learning. And your level of learning this in terms of sales, you could, like I already tell you, like it increased on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't matter how good you are in sales, people like Gerald and many other successful entrepreneurs that's in sales, they still listen, learn from other people. They just don't get to a point in their life like, okay, I already know how to do sales. I don't have to learn from anyone no more. Like, I'm good. But you have to continue to keep learning. And once you really master sales and get better at it and implement it, even though you may have some downfalls in the beginning, but that's fine. As long as you stay consistent, that's the main thing. But like I say, sales is is the one of the most high paying professions. You know, when it comes out here, in this world that we live in, and most people sometimes tend to shy from it. So, but yeah, man, you're absolutely right, man. Sales is really key, man. So yeah, I'm glad you hit on that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
how I would recommend, man, really like chiming into like our high level calls so that we can get dialed in on that. Because this particular live this evening is about sales. So in terms of having issues like aligning with your ideal clients, like yeah, I would recommend hop on our actual high level calls because you're in the program. Yeah,
Speaking of that, the one that Howard just, and I had to move to another room because I'm having issues with my bandwidth. He was mentioning about a packed. He was talking about like a pack. Pretty much talking about like a pack niche. A pack field. But Gerald actually posted a post in regards to that on yesterday. In regards to like as far as like being like you feel like you're in a niche that's packed, but that's a lot of times that's our beliefs that's not necessarily true.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. And yes, the high level call is tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, does anybody have any questions on this? Because this is a real good topic for those who are, especially for those who are new to the group and they probably haven't seen a lot of the videos that we've done in the past in regards to this. This is a extremely good topic. um Understanding like sales and stuff, and not only that, just understanding the objections and stuff that may come up, like for example when you're dealing with clients or just connecting with people. Gerald,
Mm.
can you talk a little bit about that too as well?
As far as what objections?
Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to objections, a lot of times people do get certain objections because mentally, and not even just mentally, the way that they do their calls, they pretty much so as someone who is new, overcoming any types of objections is key. You should always be ready so you not lose momentum. Yeah. Yeah, I did a whole training on objections before. But what I will say though, in terms of like objections, yeah, a lot of times people pose objections on people based off of the way that they're thinking and the way that they're doing their sales calls. Um, Another thing as well when it comes to objections is if you have the proper framework when it comes to doing like discovery to even doing a strategy session, and you have the questions positioned in a certain manner in terms of that particular framework, a lot of times you won't get many objections. A lot of times it comes from the type of questions that you ask during the call and the type of diagnosis you do in terms of understanding that potential client's current situation, their desired situation, what may be holding them back from getting to their desired situation, right? Why do they want to get to their desired situation? And their level of commitment and sense of urgency in terms of getting to their desired situation and getting their particular problem solved. A lot of times, like I say, it depends on like how you structure the framework and the questions. You won't really get many objections. But in terms of knowing how to handle objections, it comes from, for one, having a framework to be able to handle different objections that come up and studying those frameworks. And then also it comes from just getting reps in. That's what I call it, doing a lot of calls. Yeah. So for one, just having frameworks to be able to understand, to be able to um, handle objections such as I have to think about it, or spouse partner objection, or um, money objections, um, guarantee type of objections. uncertainty objections, like just having frameworks to be able to handle those as they come up. And I recommend studying those frameworks. So, of course, in our high level program, we actually give our clients the framework for one on how to do what we call a successful strategy session call. But not only that, as objections arise, how to respond to them. So you just have to have those frameworks in place. And like I say, you have to study them, you have to role play with them, and then it also just comes with doing a whole lot of reps in terms of doing a whole lot of calls. And making sure you record your calls because you can always go back and listen to them to see things you did great to things you may need to improve upon. Yeah.
Yep, that is so true. Yeah, Keandra said something very profound, building that muscle.
Yep. Yep,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
absolutely. Absolutely. Understanding that, you well, like Gerald mentioned, for one, you still have to talk to people for one to gather this type of information. And two, you know, it takes practice too as well to make sure that you have that framework in place to be able to, you know, navigate through those objections that may occur. But like he mentioned, you have to have a framework for that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You can't just go out the cuff when it comes
Right.
to
Right.
sales and serving people. You got to have an actual framework and process you follow. What do you guys recommend for recording calls? Loom.
Yep.
Loom.
Loom is LOOM. So in 2022, we typically do Zoom calls. We don't do like phone calls unless a person just can't get on the Zoom.
Right.
So by doing the call on Zoom, typically we will record the call on Loom. So normally we'll have like the sales framework in terms of the questions on one side of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll have the Zoom on the other side, and we'll have Loom recording the call.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Zooms these day and time is where it at, because a lot of times, for one, it builds trust with people. People see you are a real person. And just that interaction that you have with the potential client that you're speaking to as well, versus just doing a regular phone call. But yeah, Loom is what we use every day when we do calls, even discos, strategy sessions. And like Gerald say, when you record those calls, you can always go back and listen to your replays. And one thing I love about Loom, it has a full library of all your recordings all right there. So you can always go back and listen to those calls, find some things that you can, improve on that you just didn't do on that call. So then once you really make the corrections that you need to do moving forward. And like Gerald said, just it's all about, constantly doing calls consistently, building that muscle. And so once you do that, that's going to also help you become a better person in sales as well. So highly recommend leveraging Loom. And, using Loom has been like one of the best things that I could have ever done all my years of being in business, because even in my beginning stages, I never used to record. It was just, all right, I do calls. I never could have go back to listen to like what I could have improved. But when you really have something like that, like Loom in place, it really helps you. And you always want to improve and get better at your craft. So yeah, most definitely. But I have a
Yeah,
question for you too, Jared. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you hit
yeah.
on
I
it.
mean, because the thing about it, yeah, it's definitely great to go back and listen to it. Like I say, to look at things you did great, to things you can improve upon. A lot of times, if you go back and listen to recordings too, you'll see what objection maybe came up earlier in the call that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't even handle, right? That you didn't handle. Um, and so it came up at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I even give you a prime example. So I actually did a call yesterday with a lady, And at the very beginning of the call, she said pretty much that she hadn't even launched her program, right? She's pretty much looking to launch like a coaching program
Mm-hmm.
in a spiritual sense. And she wants to get certified. You don't necessarily have to be certified to be a coach, but some people just feel they have to be certified to be a coach. So that's what they go do. So she said that at the very beginning of the call. So with that being said, I mean, I just came out and asked her, so is this something, you were really looking to do like as soon as possible? Or is this something you're looking to do in the future? And she said over the next few months. So by it being over the next few months, it doesn't make sense for me to move forward in the call because I'm gonna go through this whole entire call. Then of course when we get to the end, what's gonna be the objection? I'm not looking to do this for a few months because I got to get certified and get all this stuff set up, and it's not a big priority for me right at this moment. So it doesn't make sense to go through a whole call. So a lot of times when you record your calls, you'll go back and listen to them and see where objection came up way early in the call, where you didn't necessarily have to waste your time going through that whole call, but you did, and this big objection came up at the end. And at times you feel like I wasted my quality time going through this whole call at this particular time for someone who may not even be looking to move forward anytime soon. Right? Or at the top of the call, they mention to you that they have a spouse or a partner at the top of the call. And instead of you going and addressing that and ask them, are they going to need a spouse or a business partner to help them make a decision on how you maybe could potentially help them solve their problem? By you not really addressing that at the top of the call, now you go through the whole call. Then at the end, when you make your offer, the objection comes up. Right? And so what's going to end up happening is what? You're going to have to book a second call or another call, right? Depending on how you generated that lead, that could be the first or second call. If it was an inbound lead, it could be the first call. If it was from organic, it could be the second call. So you'd be booking a third call. So it just depends on how you generated the lead.
Yep, absolutely.
But typically on a spouse or a partner objection, at times you can, it's ways that you can see if they still would be willing to move forward. Where the worst case scenario, you collect the deposit and then you book them into another call. And you can invite their spouse or partner to come to the next call as well to get any questions they have answered. But another thing I was going to hit on in terms of recording calls as well is a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they look at their business at times like they're going to be a solopreneur forever, or like they're going to be handling a specific task for their business forever. If you're a coach, consultant, you have an online course, service-based business, just because you're doing sales calls in the beginning in your particular business don't necessarily mean you're going to be doing them forever, right? Matter of fact, you shouldn't be doing them forever. So with that being said, eventually you're going to be hiring what? A sales team. So when you hire that sales team, they can revert back to those recordings of those calls. That's training for them. So it's not all the time just about you. It's also about when you start to build a team, you already have these assets and resources that your team can plug into to learn and train up to eventually replace you as the salesperson on the phone. So you can be the full-fledged CEO of your company. But yeah, whatever your question was, Tony, I can answer.
Oh yeah, man. Great stuff, man. Glad you hit on that, man. So my question that I got for you, and maybe the viewers that's tuning in can get something out of this. Like, how do you handle when people, let's say, even when you're direct outreaching or you're connecting with the person, through the DMs or whatnot. And then before they get on the call, they always asking, okay, what's the price? Because at times most people would get that objection saying like, what's the price before even hopping on a call to find out more about what you do and stuff. So how would you go about with handling that?
Yeah, so typically what I would do with that, if you're doing direct outreach, like your messenger, and you get like a price objection in messenger before you even spoken to them on an actual call, typically what I would do is say, hey, Antonio, I understand your concern about, a potential investment for us to be able to help you solve XYZ problem. But typically, what we do is, we'll hop on a call just to find out a little bit more about you, what you're looking to accomplish, and then share a little bit more in depth with you on the specifics in terms of how we can help you solve XYZ problem. And then from there, typically we will have some type of customizable investment specifically for you and how we can help you solve XYZ problem, being it's a fit for us to work with each other. So with that being said, what works best for you, mornings or evenings? That's
That
it.
was a good one.
Straight like that.
Right. Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Mhm.
just like that. I
And that's
mean,
good
like, and
stuff.
then put the ball back in your court. Like, what you gonna do,
Yeah,
buddy?
Mhm.
I love it.
absolutely. And that's a good way to handle that objection. And another thing I would share too, because when you are doing pre-qualifying calls, we call them disco calls in our industry, right? And oftentimes, when you're just doing the pre-qualifying process with that potential client, just to make sure they're a good fit, make sure they qualified. Oftentimes, of course, they'll ask about pricing even when you are on the call with them. So let's just say a person is in the pre-qualifying process. This is not the sales call right here at the point. Just want to find a little bit more information about the person, see if they're a good fit or a candidate, right? And they bring up the investment, talking about, well, how much would this cost? How would you, or what would you recommend someone handling that objection? How would you go about it with that?
Yeah, it's a couple of ways you can handle that. Um, for one, it was similar to what I just said, even if you were in Messenger,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much is yeah, I can understand that you may want to know what the investment would be for us to potentially help you solve XYZ problem. That's perfectly understandable. But like I say, typically, what we'll do is we'll hop on a call or we can actually put together a custom tailored strategy specifically for your business on how we're going to help you solve XYZ problem.
Mm-hmm.
And on that particular call, being it's a fit for us to work with each other, then typically the investment is customizable around how we can help you solve XYZ problem. So, with that being said, let me look at my calendar. Does this day and this time work for you? That's it.
So you're
Right
just looping
now,
it back around to the problem that they
exactly.
wanted to solve. Gotcha.
Exactly. And another thing, too, if you don't want to go with the customizable approach
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to give a price range at time, you can,
Okay.
right? Depending on how your offer is structured.
Right.
So if you want to at times let them know it's within this particular price range, you can do that as well. So that's why I said it's a couple of different ways you can do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I'm just curious to know, for those that's tuning in, like, what have been some objections that you've gotten that you can share with us, and we can just give you some tips on how you can better accomplish that and overcome those particular objections. Anybody that's tuning in experienced some type of objection and you just didn't know how to overcome it?
I would say he's like the customizable approach.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, because I know probably some more people in this group probably done heard some wild objections,
Hmm.
some super wild objections. So how did you guys handle it at that point? We would love to know that. Definitely
Right.
drop a comment if you had some.
Most definitely.
Like who in the group right now is even doing strategy session calls or sales calls or what have you at this time? Because of course you got to be doing calls first to get objections. So
Right. Right.
Pretty much. Well, you could be like, trying to pitch your business somewhere like in person or something like that too and still get an objection too. So technically
well,
you can get objections that way sometimes too.
yeah. I mean, in terms of sales, I would just say period in here. Like who is consistently getting in front of people at this time, diagnosing people's problems, and then you can help solve them, making offers at this time, however it is, right? Whether it's online, offline, whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying pretty much like who right now is doing any type of sales.
Hmm.
Yeah. I had a vegan guy that booked the call and was very negative. Yeah, you'll get that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's why, like, in the consulting space and even coaching space, and for a lot of different service based businesses too, that's why you have to have volume in terms of volume of leads. Because, yeah, you're going to have some people that's going to be negative at times. I know our remote prospectors or appointment setters get negative people every day. I see the conversations every day as we hop on our sales teams calls. It's every day, but they just keep going until they find the person or persons that we can potentially help. So Keandra says, I'm selling, but I do not get lots of rejections per se. Okay. Well, that's
That's
a great
good.
thing.
Mhm.
You're not getting a whole lot of rejections.
Yeah. That is a great
It's a great
thing.
thing. I mean, your closing ratio should or is going to be pretty high.
Hmm.
Yep. And she's not getting a lot of rejection, yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, do we have any other questions, though, about anything in reference to sales from anybody?
Anybody have any questions in regards
And
to sales?
tomorrow evening on our high level call, I'm actually doing a full fledged training. Of course, this live stream here is for the 1% CEOs Facebook group, but for y'all that's on here that's in our high level program, or if you have an interest in putting together a strategy session for your business and getting some more information about our high level program, we'll talk about that later on. But tomorrow on our high level call, I'm actually doing a full fledged training on key performance in sales, right? A full fledged training that I've never done before. So we're going to go a whole lot more deeper. My closing ratio is extremely high, is what I offer made sense. Cool.
That's awesome.
Cool, cool. Great stuff.
Great stuff. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Nothing else. I'm still learning.
She's looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
I know.
Yeah, keys
That,
to high performance in sales. Yeah, that's what doing the training on tomorrow. Absolutely.
that's gonna be big.
I know. Guys, y'all got to look at it this way. It's nothing like learning from somebody who's done it before. I mean,
Fact.
like serious. You know what I'm saying? That is just something major.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
I said, oh hell yeah. Yeah, it's that's yeah. I mean, that's ain't nothing like it. I'm telling y'all. And if
Yeah.
y'all never have attended any of Gerald's trainings before, and I know a lot of you guys, of course, some of you guys might not be a part of the program, but guys, that thing's so detailed, it
Hmm.
will blow your mind. You heard
Absolutely.
me. You heard me. I mean, they're trying to be so detailed and so precise. Y'all, I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody doing this but us. I done told y'all that already. I done told y'all. I be trying to tell them, but that's okay. I should have been. I should have been listening to them. Yeah. Any more questions, folks? Any more questions, people?
Yeah, I don't see no questions yet.
I don't think so. I think that's it. But guys, if you come across any questions and stuff like that, make sure you drop it in the comment. Everybody, you know what? That's a good point. You said it right on the head. Sometimes everybody ain't ready. No, they ain't. They not ready sometimes. It's okay though. It's okay. You have those that are ready and you have those that are not ready. But that's all right.
Right.
That's a good point. That is a good point that she brought up.
Absolutely.
Good point.
Yeah, I did a post yesterday in the 1% CEOs
Yeah.
group about
Uh-huh. He
niches.
sure did. He sure did.
Yeah.
He
Definitely
sure
learned a
did.
lot from it.
Right, right. It was a great post. And guys, those little things, yeah, it helps out a lot. You'd be like, you know what? I didn't look at it that way. Sometimes you don't look at certain things the way you actually really should. You'll be like, you know what? I didn't look at it like that. Yeah. So that's something to consider as well. All right, folks. If we don't have any more questions, people feel free to drop your questions below. And again, like we mentioned before, we answer all questions. I'm like everything. So if you have like questions later and you're watching the hashtag replay, put hashtag replay and also show us some love. Y'all playing games. Show us some love on the live stream because it helps with the algorithm. I don't know if y'all know that, but you know it today. All right. All right. Talk to you tomorrow too, Howard. Oh yeah, no problem. No problem at all. See, we do this for y'all. We do it for the people. Ain't nobody else doing this but us. We gotta set the tone. I'm just saying. All right, guys. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening and make sure to drop those comments and actually show us some love. Whether you watching the replay or you watching this right now, make sure to show us some love. We would highly appreciate it.
Most
All
definitely.
right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank everybody for tuning in.
All right.
Absolutely.
Take care, y'all.
All right, take care.